For Carolina football, I'm Taylor Vippolis. Today I'm joined by Austin Proehl, wide receiver. You grew up in North Carolina. Would you describe yourself as always being a Tar Heel fan?
You know, I always grew up going to Wake Forest games. My grandpa went to Wake. My mom was a cheerleader at Wake. My sister went to Wake. So I've grown up, going to straight Wake Forest games. And to be honest with you, they all hated Carolina. And that was hard when it came to making a decision. Calling my grandpa, getting hung up on, and that really happened. I think one of the biggest things that was huge for me was my dad just told me, listen, if you don't want to go to Wake, don't go to Wake. Go wherever you feel like you're led to go, and wherever your heart, is telling you to go, you need to go. And if that's Carolina, go to Carolina. And he's adopted it. He's wearing Carolina blue now, and that's awesome.
With your dad being in the NFL and such a great receiver, you've been around football your whole life. What are some of your earliest memories of the game?
Super Bowls. To be honest with you, him being a part of 4 was huge for me. To his NFC Championship catch, to send the Rams to the Super Bowl, to being a ball boy, and helping the equipment staff with the Rams and kissing Marshall Faulk's helmet before every game. Just being around the game my whole life and really being close to it, being in a locker room at 5 years old, being a ball boy all through high school with the Panthers, going to all 4 Super Bowls, just opportunities that not many kids, if any, get their whole life. Just being able to learn from people, watching my dad's receivers now, watching him as a receiver, watching Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, Azakeem, guys like that every Sunday went out there and did what they needed to do to provide for a family. It's just huge for me. Being able to watch and learn from them has obviously affected my game today, and it's made a difference in the way I play and the way I perform, and then practice. Practice is obviously a huge thing, for how you perform on Saturdays or Sundays, and that stuck out to me, the way that they prepare every week.
I think everybody on the team besides maybe Switzer would say you're the best route runner. So how big of a did your dad have on your development as a wide receiver?
Growing up, it was what he preached to me. It was like the way I was going to get to where I am now. My route running, because I am fast. I'm not the fastest. I'm quick. I have good hands, but running routes is what a receiver is. I mean, at the end of the day, you can be fast, but people can say you're a track guy, but all you can do is run a straight line. You're gonna be a go ball guy, and I've always taken pride in not being a guy that can't do everything, whether it's inside, outside routes. And a lot of people say, with your size, you're gonna be an inside guy. And ever since I got here, I wanted to prove a point I wasn't just an inside guy because of my routes. I can run comebacks, I can run digs, I can run, skinny posts, I can run post corners, and that was huge for me because I didn't want to be limited, and I wanted to be able to move inside, outside, and I knew that was gonna, help me play more than just stay as an inside guy. And I think, route running is huge, and I think from an early age, my dad just taught me that in order for me to make it, in order for me to, accomplish my dreams, I was gonna have to be the best route runner on the field, and I've always taken pride in that.
Another player that had to wait his turn, Mitch Trubisky. How would you describe your relationship with him?
Definitely one of my best friends, a roommate, somebody who, has been to my sister's wedding. I brought him to home to Charlotte. Just somebody who I know to this day, if I needed anything out of him, he would be there for me. He's a great guy, he's a great teammate, obviously a great quarterback. He's one of those guys that, if you called him at 3 a.m. and you were across the country, he'd figure out a way to help you. And that's just who he is as a person. And, I think that goes always back to his parents. His parents are great people, and just the way they brought him up, he's just one of those guys that just over cares for people. No matter who they are, you just see him walking through this building, he'll talk to the janitor like he's Coach Fedora. And I think that's huge for him. I think that's just huge for people to see who he is. because he's an even better person than he is player, and that's saying a lot because he's pretty freaking good on the field. Yeah.
The Pitt game is probably one of the best games to ever be played in Kenan Stadium, just that atmosphere. How intense was that last drive?
It was intense for sure. I mean, like I've told people already, I think watching the film you get more nervous than you were actually in the game because you didn't have a time to actually think during the course of the game. During the course of that last drive, you were more focused on what you had to do to get open and what we had to do to win the game. Just play by play. You just had to take one play at a time, and I think that was huge. But going back to watch the film, you realize the huge catches that Switz made, the huge throws that Mitch was making up and down the field, the poise he had in the pocket, Bug's final catch. I mean, you go back and you see all that stuff on film, and you're like, holy smokes! Like all that really happened in one drive with, I don't know how much time is left for our final drive, but just stuff like that, you realize that, we can do big things in this offense at any given time in the game, and we have the composure to do what we did. We can really do anything.